He can withstand extreme temperatures, disastrous attacks, and any known weapon. Every physical assault shatters against his exterior. He is an extinction-level threat possessing zero physical vulnerabilities. The public perceives an omnipotent savior, but a forensic psychological autopsy reveals a severe contradiction. Beneath the physical armor lies a catastrophically fragile mind. His behavior is not random, nor is it the result of unchecked power. He is the ultimate clinical case study of a specific psychiatric condition, pathological grandiose narcissism. This visualization represents the psychological reality of his mind. There is no integrated internal identity. He possesses what clinicians call the empty core. His physical invincibility distracts from his actual threat profile. That hollow psychological structure is the precise factor where he can be successfully exploited. Society commonly misinterprets narcissism as an overabundance of self-love or extreme arrogance. The clinical reality is the exact opposite. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, true narcissism is rooted in severe developmental deficits. A subject exhibiting grandiose narcissism has zero internal core of self-worth. They are psychologically vacant. To survive, he requires a massive, uninterrupted influx of external validation. The adoration of the public acts as a life support system, replacing the self-worth he structurally lacks. He manages this through the grandiose false self, a flawless, impenetrable persona projected to the world to completely mask the emptiness underneath. The cape, the flag, and the godlike posturing serve a distinct biological purpose. They form a rigid, compensatory delusion absolutely necessary to stave off his own psychological annihilation. This pathology traces directly back to a laboratory setting, where early childhood trauma replaced genuine parental bonding. Psychoanalyst Heinz Kohut's object relations theory dictates that all infants require parental buffering and validation to successfully form a stable self-structure. He was raised as a corporate asset. His caregivers exploited his physical abilities while rejecting requests for affection. This systematic grooming destroyed his capacity to develop a genuine identity. The psyche splits into two distinct halves: a deeply devalued, empty center, surrounded by the rapidly constructed armor of the grandiose false self. This outer shell completely seals off the dark core, entirely disconnecting him from his own authentic emotions. Because of this structure, he is incapable of authentic human connection. He uses other people as mirrors to reflect and confirm the existence of his false self. The specific form of attention he extracts from these mirrors is clinically known as narcissistic supply. Using Camel and Foster's extended agency model, this flowchart visualizes narcissistic supply acting as a continuous flow of fuel into the false self. While public admiration pulses, equilibrium remains stable. But when this supply is interrupted, immediate systemic failure occurs. He does not protect society out of a moral framework or an ideological commitment to justice. He protects society strictly because he must harvest the public for the narcissistic supply required to keep himself alive. When his dominance is challenged, criticized, or even simply ignored, he suffers what dark psychology terms a narcissistic injury. A narcissistic injury is distinctly different from normal human emotional hurt. He processes any form of criticism as a literal threat of psychological erasure. Because he lacks that core identity, he is entirely incapable of processing standard feelings of shame, failure, or inadequacy. His psyche cannot absorb the impact. Instead, it instantaneously converts that unprocessable shame into absolute world-ending hostility. It violently detonates outward. His terrifying physical outbursts are not the calculated moves of a strategic mastermind. They are involuntary, mechanical defense mechanisms, triggered automatically to eradicate the source of the injury. The final stage of this psychological chain reaction is known as narcissistic rage. Often, this manifests first through an ego defense mechanism called a grandiose fantasy. He will vividly imagine hyper-violent retaliation against the dissenters. Mentally visualizing the mass execution of his critics serves as a rapid intrapsychic dopamine injection. It instantly heals the narcissistic wound and restores his delusion of superiority. This circular timeline visualizes his existence. He is trapped in a trauma-driven loop: grandiose posturing, narcissistic injury, narcissistic rage, then resetting to find new supply. Unlike intelligent threats who adapt, his psychology traps him in this recursive pattern, incapable of strategic evolution. His physical power renders him unstoppable in conventional combat, but his pathological reliance on external validation makes him entirely predictable. To defeat him, one does not attack the impenetrable armor, one simply starves the false self.